I'll start by saying I was probably one of the fraternity that used to be responsible for that. In the sales education, sales consulting market, it's very easy to get caught up in how great your methodology or how great your programs are. Well, what we saw happen, I think in the late 1980s through to the early 1990s, was sales training organizations started selling more and more to sales operations departments, specialist sales training departments inside organizations. And they were typically stocked with, usually young people who, glorified, how complex the methodologies were that they were buying. Did it fit Kirkpatrick's, 4 different levels of evaluation? Did it have, adult instructional design standards? And so they would, force the sales training organizations to prove that it had all these bells and whistles going with it. They wanted bang for buck. They wanted to see how many pages is it, how many indexes does it have, how many tools do we get with it. So a lot of sales training organizations beefed it up, and you can see it on some of their websites. They boast that when you come along to our 5-day training program, you'll get a book that's this thick, and you'll also get 36 or so different sheets to use in any situation you're likely to get into in sales, and they charge a bomb for it. And what happens is the salespeople spend 3 or 4 or 5 days out of the field with an ever more complex array of ways of doing things that they're being trained to do. Then they get back into the field. It's very difficult for them to juggle all these pieces of paper. Even if it's online, it's very difficult for them to navigate through all these tabs to know what they're doing. And so what happens? They don't use the methodology, except for the night before their manager asking to do a review. And then they'll hurriedly fill something in just to keep corporate off their back. But they don't really use it. And I think that's probably the cardinal sin that not all sales training and consulting companies, but many have committed, is that they're putting over-administered and undervalued but overpriced methodologies out there. And shame on the company that buys it, because what they actually end up doing is crippling their sales force. They don't really get any value from it. And I think that's been proven pretty conclusively in most organizations, because they move on. Trouble is, the ones that they're buying it from next are people that used to work for the previous company and have tried to invent a better mousetrap, so it's more complex still. Or they're the ones that are moving to e-learning and diluting all the value of having an experienced professional guiding a sales team through things through their experience, which is a whole other story. So I think that what we see is in the sales training market, it's a market that's needing some change.